Hello, everyone. I'm back again, the man himself, with another review of another album. Yes, that's right, two in one night. It's currently 2:35 in the morning, where I am right now, and yeah, you know, um, I'm making music reviews that are unscripted. So now, let's move on to Pod by the Breeders. Quite the different change. And also, this is an old ass album compared to the last one that I did, which was There Will Be No Super Slave. But anyway, um, The Breeders, great band, introduced to me by my dad. He was a big fan of 90s alternative and like also like the college rock scene in the 80s, so he's like into the alternative scene in general. Even now he's been into alternative music. But anyway, the Breeders, they were great in the scene back in the day, led by Kim Deal and I forgot the other band members, but they were also important. And and basically, it's a great album. It's definitely one of my favorite releases from the '90s. It was released in 1990, and it was also produced, I believe, and recorded by Steve Albini, which is great sound engineer, especially in like the alternative scene. Like he's done like Surfer Rosa, another like one of my favorite albums, and he's done uh, Goat by the Jesus Lizard. Great stuff, honestly, and Pod by the Breeders, and it's just a great album. Like it also sounds like very laid back and relaxed, which I really like. It's like I read somewhere that like they recorded it like largely while like they were wearing pajamas, and it does sound like that. It gives off that vibe, really laid back, especially on songs like "Oh." Um, it's like just like really slidey guitars, and Kim Deal is like totally relaxed, taking just like saying her lines really relaxed, and like background vocals very calm, and then another thing I like about the album is that it's very raw. Like, of course, like Albini's like style in general is like hella raw and like he just likes to record stuff like it's like a punk album but like slightly better. And like of course his signature drums are all over the album. Very present in almost every single song. You can hear those Albini drums. Absolutely amazing, and it suits the album really well. Um, really awesome stuff. And yeah, so songs like "Oh," um, they capture that like laid back energy, and especially like the strings on "Oh" are very like of course like I've talked about it a lot. Yeah, it's my favorite song on the album, and like and the strings are like very like they're very like DIY and like kind of like okay, this person sort of knows how to play their instrument, which I really like. It reminds me of like old punk and like punk in general. It's kind of like bunch of like people just like kind of getting together, not professional musicians. They ain't like the Beatles or whatever, or they're just like a bunch of random people. And I think that's also where a lot of the appeal of the album comes from. Is their like sort of like um you know uh laid back instrumentation. So like it's not very musically complex in its entirety, while the songwriting is very solid, and the lyrics have a very interesting mix between innocence and like you know how do I put this uh sexual references in Widow, and yeah, the production's solid. It sounds raw, like like a punk album too, but it's not super punk. And the entire band's really solid. Like when I say that they're like not like insanely like cracked at their instruments, like I mean like they're not cracked, but they're very good with their instruments. The one thing that I would say that's not that good about this album is that like I don't think it's loud enough. Like maybe it's just like I don't think it was like mastered like according to like the right loudness. And I think that there are a few weak songs like I think that like Metal Man is a weak song, or like Limehouse, but it gets balanced out with like insanely strong songs like Fortunately Gone, or like Happiness is a Warm Gun, or Hellbound, or Oh. So like overall the good outweighs the bad, and like I've listened to this album so much, it's just like ingrained in my memory. I'll give this album an 8.5 out of 10. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 because I think it's actually fantastic. And it's a must listen. It's an absolute classic that's not talked about enough. And, you know, I think it should be talked about more. So, yeah, that concludes my second review. Yeah, road to 10 million subscribers. See you guys later.